Can you imagine how awesome life would be if we could just focus? In this video, I want to give you a tip to get you focused and working. Why should you listen to me? Some people would say that I've done some pretty incredible things, like finishing 84 college credits in 2-3 month terms, or writing entire books within days. It did take a lot of focus for a long period of time. And what I found out is that I focus a bit different than most other people. The tools that I use help me, so I started sharing them with other people. And it worked for them. To my amazement, I wasn't anything special. I was just a regular guy that applied these techniques to stay focused. First of all, this technique may look different than what you may think about when it comes to focus. Usually when people think about focus, they think about being able to pay attention to one thing for hours at a time. Yet I have never once did that in my life. I applaud people who can fixate on one thing for hours on end. I'm just not one of those people. And the good news is that for your productivity in life, you don't need to be that way either. In fact, I found out that trying to block out hours usually doesn't work. I start out with full focus and energy only to slow down as the hours go by. Let's say you start your first hour reading 1 page a minute, and then 8 hours later, you sense that you're moving at a pace of 1 word per minute or 1 word per hour. Here's what's happening. You're putting too much effort in for too long, and you probably know what happens next. You crash. It's almost like that 1 day of work leads to needing 3 days of rest. Here's what happens. As you work, your stress builds up. That stress takes the place of focus. If it builds up too far, it lingers even longer and takes longer to dissipate. Working long isn't really the goal. The technique I'm going to give you is going to need some explanation afterward, but here it is. To focus more, work shorter. Can you focus for about 20 minutes? Of course you can. This is about the standard attention span, and here's what happens. That first 20 minutes, you have all the energy and all the focus you can ever muster. At about 20 minutes, you don't start getting fatigued at all. That usually happens at about minute 21. So to stay focused, a tool you may want to use is to focus for 20 minutes, take a 5-minute break before spending another 20 minutes to focus. That 5-minute break is critical because it hits the reset button and allows you any anxiety or stress that's built up to be able to dissipate. Some people believe that this would be ineffective. At around 20 minutes, it's common to feel a sense of additional energy to continue. This energy is borrowing on reserves that you don't want to use. It would be harder to recover. Every 20-minute block is time that you get to spend in full focus, and the 5-minute break will re-energize you to bring your best focus for the next 20 minutes. 20 minutes is also short enough time to commit to something. If a task is too long, then it's easier to procrastinate because it seems like it's going to take forever. 20 minutes is easier to commit to. Don't get too hung up on the 20 minutes, by the way. If you can put 100% focus on any moment of time, then commit to that portion of time. The point is that to chunk it so that you can rest and don't let the stress build up and take frequent breaks.